From the depths of slumber as I ascend the spiral stairway of wakefulness, I will whisper, whisper, God, God, God. Thou art the food, and when I break my fast of nightly separation from thee, I will taste thee and mentally say, God, God, no matter where I go, the spotlight of my mind will ever keep turning on thee. And in the battle din of activity, my silent war cry will be, God, God, God. When boisterous storms of sorrow shriek, and when warriors howl at me, I will drown their noises, loudly chanting, God, God. When my mind weaves dreams, dreams, with threads of memories, on that magic cloth will I emboss, God, God. Every night in time of deepest sleep, when my peace dreams and calls joy, joy, my joy comes singing in waking, eating, working, dreaming, sleeping, serving, meditating, chanting, divinely loving, my soul will constantly hum, unheard by any. Christ, Guru. Reveal thyself, reveal thyself, reveal thyself, reveal thyself, reveal thyself, reveal Check your posture. Shoulders back and spine erect. Draw your energy to the point between the eyebrows and dive deep into the light. Practice whatever techniques you want. We'll meditate for 5 minutes. 5 precious minutes.
Remaining in an inward state, please listen to this week's affirmation for self-healing. Discrimination. As science judges the relative speed of any object by one constant, the speed of light, so the devotee judges the relative merit of any idea by one constant, God. Discrimination is clear only when it relates everything to the eternal absolute. Thus, while the intelligence may toy with ideas endlessly, discrimination asks, is this wisdom? Is it of God? True discrimination is not even the product of reasoning. It is soul intuition. Reasoning, even from the highest point of reference, is uncertain compared to the inspirations of superconsciousness. To discriminate clearly, meditate first. Ask God to guide your understanding. Please repeat this week's affirmation after me in a loud, strong voice. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations.
Resolutely, I quell my inclinations.
That my mind be open.
That my mind be open.
To the wisdom guidance of my soul.
To the wisdom guidance of my soul.
Again, in a more conversational tone. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations.
Resolutely, I quell my inclinations.
That my mind be open.
That my mind be open.
To the wisdom guidance of my soul.
To the wisdom guidance of my soul.
And now in a whisper. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open. To the wisdom guidance of my soul. Now repeat the affirmation mentally without moving lips or tongue. Resolutely, I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. Now again, with even greater energy, lifting the affirmation up to the point between the eyebrows. Mentally affirm, resolutely I quell my inclinations. That my mind be open to the wisdom guidance of my soul. And the prayer, guide me, Lord, that in all things I know thy will, for I know that only by thy will are all things led to perfection. Now we'll have, sorry. I'll stand.
This week's reading from Rays of the One Light, week 28, Self-Reliance versus Self-Reliance. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it and your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. Last week, we considered the need for attunement with God, with the gurus, with the wisdom of others, until we make that wisdom our own. There is a strong, in fact, valid belief nowadays in the need for standing on one's own feet rather than depending weakly on others to carry us by their strength. Swami Kriyananda once asked, "What is the best yoga posture?" That one, he replied, which sets you squarely on your own 2 feet. Our strength must come from within. If that strength comes from the ego, however, instead from the soul consciousness, it is like guitar strings without a sounding board. The notes it emits will be thin and feeble. Our strength must come from within, but must be compelled with recognition of our inner link with broader and higher realities. The Bhagavad Gita says in the 10th chapter, everyone in this world whose life is glorious or prosperous or powerful, know that his achievement is but a little spark from the great sun of my effulgence. Jesus, in talking to his disciples, emphasized also the power of attunement with his own consciousness as a ray of the divine. For this ray had descended already through him in response to their devotion. It was a sign that God was already listening to them with receptive attention and did not require to be wooed in that way any longer. The passage preceding the one that we read last week, Jesus said, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. This was the meaning of Paramhansa's counsel also, when speaking more intimately to his disciples of the need for attunement with him. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind.
See if this works. Do you want me to stand right here? Okay.
Something taller?
Yeah, maybe a little taller.
Okay, here comes this.
Set you up. There we go. Thank you. Okay. Morning again. Thank you all for coming and online too. From Whispers from Eternity, Yogananda's book of prayer demands. Number 23. Prayer demand for removing the cork of ignorance. No more shall my consciousness remain bottled in this little vessel of flesh, corked with ignorance. No more will I remain moving through the sea of cosmic consciousness, night and day, years, decades, and how many incarnations, so close, yet never able to contact thy sea. Through the bursting vibration of cosmic sound and the surging of thy holy name, I have removed the cork of ignorance, which so long separated me from thee, though we lived together so closely. Now my body consciousness will meet thy all-surrounding, all-pervading consciousness. No longer will I walk heedlessly in thee, but never knowing and feeling thee. Thine image within me shall meet thine image everywhere. By releasing the I-ness in me, I will know that I am thou and that thou alone art the little egos of us all. I had never read that one. I found it. I don't know, these things happen on their own. But it's like that, the little s, self-reliance, and the big S, the higher self-reliance. And so that's the debate. Not much of a debate, I don't think. And again, if we can release the I of our ego, the little self, and rely more on the higher self and the higher consciousness,
that's around us, that's within us, that we can tap into with so many ways, in so many ways. It's not really that hard. It's what's hard is when we hit those moments where it just feels like we can't pick ourselves up and keep moving, but we do. So interesting that the affirmation today was discrimination. And actually it kind of, well, it was really about intuition. To discriminate clearly, meditate first. Ask God to guide your understanding. And that is intuition, basically. That's what we have to do. And the prayer, guide me, Lord, that, and this is from the affirmation, guide me, Lord, that in all things I know thy will. For I know that only by thy will are all things led to perfection. So again, we just have to tune into that. So I thought the Bible reading, I understood it in a different way than I've heard that phrase so many times over the years. And for some reason, it just made sense. It's like the husbandman is the guru, is our higher self, is God, that consciousness, Jesus, any master that is that for you, that is the husbandman. And we are the, how does this phrase go? Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So, and basically the fruit is our higher consciousness and the higher aspirations and our, higher way of being in the world. And the lower, more negative, fear and anger, those things would be the fruits that, at least this is my understanding. Anyway, I also wanted to address this, this idea that Lynn, hope you're there. Yesterday at our maybe last week at our sing-alongs, Lynn is a devoted sing-alonger. She comes every Thursday and Saturday, and Giovanna too. And anyway, so she brought up the subject a few times ago of this list that Swami Kriyananda had made for some of those lower qualities that we might get into or that pull us down. And again, like in the Bhagavad Gita with the battle of Kurukshetra, and the good guys were the Pandavas, which were the chakras, and the bad guys were the, let's say I'm really bad at remembering all the details, but the
Kauravas.
cousins, the Kauravas, were the negative qualities. So in a sense, so he gave one for each day of the week, these kind of qualities, so remedies. And yesterday, so I'm going to tell this little story. And we're relating to, I thought it was sweet how it happened this way. So yesterday it was loneliness, and the remedy for that was life is a dream. And that was day 9. So yesterday night, last night, I arrived from northern New Hampshire to the seacoast area in Rye, and at my kind of other family's home, a long driveway. And as I'm pulling up, I see there's something in the middle of the road. And so I pulled to the side, and it was this little baby raccoon, so adorable. And it was breathing, looked like it was just sleeping. And I thought, well, maybe he's just sleeping. It's, in the middle of the road is pavement, so maybe it was warm. So I just watched it for a moment or two. Its ear twitched, and I talked to it, and then I drove on, and then I told my friends when I got there. So Dr. Utter, who's 91 or 92, wanted to see this immediately. He's like my other father, and his father and my father and he were all in the same pediatric practice in Providence for many decades. Anyways, he gets his walker out and we walk down the road and we're observing it and trying to figure out what to do with this poor little thing. So I start talking to it again, and it kind of moved, like it's getting more comfortable position, and we're just like, what happened to it? Did maybe Kathy had hit it when she came in before me? Maybe the cat got it. Don't let the cat out. Jerome's a great mouser, but don't let him out because he might have hurt the little baby raccoon. I thought, well, maybe a hawk or something had picked it up. I know that happened to one of our cats, picked it up but dropped it, and so it was knocked out somehow, and it was sleeping and just needing, so we left where it was. I didn't think it was a good idea to move it. His little ears twitching, and it kind of opened his eye at one point because I was talking to it. And then that later last night, I went out to my car to get a few things, and it was dark by that time. So I put on my headlamp and I walked down, and he was in a totally different position, or they, and I started talking to it, and his eyes open, and he kind of struggled to his feet, and and I'm saying, "Are you okay? Is there anything? Are you thirsty?" And it's smaller than a full-size cat, really. It's so adorable, big fluffy pinstripe tail and cute little nose. And then I went and got some water, wasn't interested, and then I thought, well, you're probably really lonely. I mean, where's your mommy? What happened? And I started really feeling lonely for it, sad. And then I remembered the remedy for loneliness. This is a segue. We get back to this. And it was Life is a Dream. So I immediately started singing Life is a Dream. And I had this little thing with water and a little food in it. And I'm singing and walking backwards, at least for 5 minutes, the long driveway. And he's following me like I'm the Pied Piper. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this song is drawing him. It really felt like it was a song. So I thought that was very interesting. And just another example of the different tools we can use to help us. And there's also a sheet of Yogananda's chants where he put the qualities that the particular chants can help. And of course, as when we're getting right back to it, letting go of the lower self and focusing on the higher self, we just do what we know how to do. We know that we need to meditate longer and deeper and rely more. Ask God, what would Jesus, what would Yogananda do before we do anything? That's one of the beautiful things about Swami Kriyananda. At every moment of his life, that was, what would Guru do? And he never did anything. What would Divine Mother do? Divine Mother told me to tell you this, or Divine Mother, that's the way he was always in tune with that. So such an inspiration to remember his life. And let's see, I have one more reading I wanted to find here. This was a great concept of, again, relying on the higher self and the lower, and not the lower self, because our egos are strong. I mean, we can do it. We have so much lifetimes of experience in all these different areas. You figure it has to come with us. We're adept at many things, and we can do things on our own, and we forget that, okay, who's really doing this? Our strength must come from within. If that strength comes from the ego, however, instead of from soul consciousness, it is like a guitar string without its sounding board. The notes it emits will be thin and feeble. Our strength must come from within, but must be coupled with the recognition of our inner link with broader and higher realities. And then from the Bhagavad Gita, everyone in this world whose life is glorious or prosperous or powerful, know that his achievement is but a little spark from the great sun of my effulgence. So may you feel that spark and let it grow to encompass everyone you meet. Now, actually, I'd like to end with this song from today's remedy, which is unkindness. Is that what it is? Oh, unkind thoughts. And the remedy is, have you seen Sorrento? So this is when we will take our offering and that which you would like to receive, no.
Please take what
Thank
you would
you.
like to give. Place it in your right hand and repeat it after me. Divine Mother, we offer to be the fruits of our labors.
We offer to be the fruits of our labors.
Bless this offering,
Bless this offering.
that it serve as a channel of thy light.
That it serve as a channel of thy light.
To truth-seeking souls everywhere.
To truth-seeking souls everywhere.
Om peace. Amen. Out that we have these beautiful altars around the church, and our people at home can't see them, but if you stick around after, maybe we could take a little tour of them or something. It's so beautiful to celebrate Purnima.
And we'll have a few more announcements after. The thoughts I had when Lynn just sent me this today, right before I started driving down, I thought, oh, that was such a fun story about the raccoon. Maybe people enjoy hearing it. And oh, I wonder what today's, quality or whatever and remedy is. And so I was thinking about this song, and I think it really, for those of us who've been to Sorrento or spent time in Italy, it's kind of a magical place. It's there's a lot of heart quality, and Swami's his previous wife had lived there, and flowers, and you just picture it as this kind of idyllic thing. But I think it was not so much the place is what I was tuning into. It's just the consciousness, and so if you take in these words, thinking of it as being in that realm of consciousness, see if that makes sense. Random thought on the ground. I rode the forest and learned many skills. I'm going to pick up. This is what happens when you don't practice, because the inspiration to do the song came just an hour ago.